Have you fallen in love with that perfect model home in a new construction neighborhood? I love them too. In this video of Move Us to Scottsdale, I'm going to give you some tips so you can be smart when you're purchasing a new construction home. Hello, I'm Carol Bloom, a real estate relocation specialist with Move Us to Scottsdale and Keller Williams, a licensed realtor both in Arizona and California. My gift to you for watching this video is a free guide in steps in preparing and listing your house for sale. I love new construction and I love representing buyers on new construction purchases. But buying a resale house and buying a new construction house is a very different process. Today, I'm going to give you some tips on how to make that new construction purchase a successful one. The new construction process I'm talking about today on this video is referring to a larger builder who is building out a neighborhood or building out a big portion of a neighborhood. This is in contrast to a smaller builder who might be building a single custom home for you. That's a different process. So tip number one, use a realtor. Yes, realtors represent new construction buyers all the time, but that can kind of be confusing for buyers because they go into a model home, they meet the sales representative, and that sales rep can answer all the questions they have in order to purchase the home. But those sales representatives work for the builder, and you should want to have a representative working for you, especially if you can find a realtor that's familiar with the new construction process. Their advice can be very valuable. If possible, pick your realtor prior to going to the model homes. Why? Because if you register with the builder at the model home, you fill out a card the sales representative gives you when you first walk in. And if you don't indicate that you have a realtor, then they might not want to work with that realtor later on in the process. Now, most builders are very happy to work with real estate agents, but it can be very confusing for a builder if you, as the buyer, coming in 3 different times, picking out floor plans and getting close to writing a contract, and then all of a sudden you bring in a realtor at the last minute. From a realtor's perspective, we don't want to come in at the last minute either. So our advice is throughout the whole process is an important one. Let your agent start from the very beginning. And here's what I tell my buyers. If you happen to go into a model home without me, which happens all the time because buyers will go out on the weekends, they have 30 minutes to kill, so they run into the model home, just tell the sales rep you are working with a real estate agent. If you happen to have one of your realtor cards, give that to the sales representative. If you don't, then just write down your real estate agent's name. If you are on one of those house hunting trips and you find a house that you really love, call your real estate agent right away and talk about the next steps. The sales rep may make you feel like you have to act now or sign a contract because another buyer is coming in an hour to put down a deposit. Take a breath. Call your agent. That's why you have an agent. Tip number 2, understanding the different costs. You may see a sign from the road that says new construction home starts at $400,000. Then you go inside and to see the model home and everything that's available is closer to $500,000. Why does that happen? That's because the advertised price is at the lowest price base model with no upgrades and no lot premium. Let's break down the different costs so you may have for a new construction home. First, you have the base price of the house. That's the cost of the floor plan you choose with no upgrades at all. The next cost you may have here is the lot premium. Now, this isn't on every home lot in the neighborhood. This is maybe only 4 home lots the builder considers better than the other lots. So say the neighborhood you're buying in has a golf course view. Those homes lots that are backed onto the golf course are probably going to be a high premium lot home. The better the home lot, the higher the premium. If the home lot you select does not have a premium, that's because it probably isn't as desirable as the home lots. Maybe it backs up to another home, maybe it backs up to the road. When you're talking to builders, make sure you ask them about the lot premium for the lot you like. Okay, tip number 3, construction options. Does the builder offer a bonus room option or an extended master bathroom or turning a living room into a den? These would be examples of construction options. These are not to be confused with cosmetic options, which are picking out the color of your cabinets, and we'll talk about that next. Every builder has a different construction options. These costs really add up. However, adding some of these construction options during construction is typically the least expensive time to do it. You may not need a 4th bedroom right now, but if you decide to have that second baby, and adding the bedroom on during the construction will be a lot cheaper than doing it 5 years down the road. Okay, cosmetic options. Now, these are the fun ones. Going to the design center can be the highlight of building process, but you can also get a big dose of a sticker shock. These costs add up quickly. My advice to buyers are to set a budget and stick to it. There are a lot of things offered by the builder that can be done later at a cheaper price. The 2 things I tell my buyers to focus on are flooring and the kitchen. Flooring and the kitchen are very expensive and inconvenient to remodel, so it's best to have those costs rolled into the mortgage as long as it doesn't put you over your monthly budget. All of these costs together will determine the final price of your home. Okay, tip number 4, negotiating with builders. Builders don't like to negotiate the base price. They have to keep their prices similar because they're selling a whole bunch of the same models. As long as people are buying their homes, they have no reason to negotiate the prices. However, builders are more receptive to negotiating things or credits. So instead of asking for a $10,000 reduction in the house price, have your real estate agent ask for $10,000 in credit towards the design center or towards closing costs. Not every builder is going to give you credits. They might not want to negotiate it completely. It depends on how popular the product is. But it doesn't hurt to ask. Now, if you happen to be interested in an inventory home, this is a home that's already been built by the builder or mostly built by the builder, then that might give you a better chance to negotiate price because that house is almost ready to go and the builder doesn't want to have to pay for the holding costs of that house. Again, they may not be willing to go down much in price, but you may have better luck in negotiating with a builder on an inventory home than on a pre-construction home. Tip number 5, closing cost on new construction. I'm going to start the segment off by saying every builder is different. But no matter which builder you're using, make sure you pay very close attention to the closing cost. Most large builders in the state of Arizona push all the closing costs, except for real estate fees and some other fees, over to the buyer side. This can be several thousands of dollars that you wouldn't be paying for in closing costs if you were buying a resale home. Now, before you get annoyed or discouraged about that, a lot of builders offer a monetary incentive. It's a rebate if you use their preferred lender, and this rebate will often cover the increase in closing costs. But be smart about it and understand that builders will use this rebate as a big incentive, when in actuality, it's really just covering the cost that you wouldn't have paid if you would have purchased a resale house. So what about the preferred lender? the builder wants you to use. Should you use them? Most of my buyers do actually use the preferred lender because they want that rebate. The rebate can be very significant. However, make sure you do your due diligence and talk to other lenders to make sure the interest rate that the preferred lender is offering you is a fair one. An outside lender may be able to rebate you the amount similar to what the builder's offering and give you a lower interest rate. But it never hurts to ask, so do your homework when it comes to lenders. Tip number 6, inspections. Yes, you can do home inspections on new construction homes. If you're building a home from scratch, I recommend 2 different inspections. The first inspection is your pre-drywall inspection. This is when an inspector comes in and looks at everything on the inside of your house. You don't get to see that stuff once the drywall gets up. That's the most important inspection during the building process. I also recommend a second inspection just before closing to check to make sure everything is functioning correctly. This inspection is like a regular home inspection when you get a report. You pass the report on to the builder so they can add that to the punch list so everything is perfect when you close on your home. A lot of people don't do the inspection prior to closing because the builder will offer a wonderful warranty that will cover anything that happens after you move in. And that's a great feature in new home construction, but it's a lot easier to deal with the issue prior to closing than to deal with it after closing. I recommend a second home inspection. Tip number 7, construction time. Your builder's gonna say, hey, we'll take 4 months to build your house. That's their goal, but in reality, they never know exactly how long it's going to take to finish building your new home. Builders have to deal with so many things. They have to deal with the materials being supplied on time. They have to deal with the contractors doing their job, inspections, permits, and so much more. It's a lot to manage. So it doesn't always go as smoothly. Trust me, no builder wants to take longer to close on a house than it absolutely needs to take. They don't make their money until they close on that house, and they want to close just as much as you do. There are just some things that are out of their control. What that means is if you're selling your current home or you have a lease that's going to expire to the time that your house is supposed to close, make sure you're looking into a backup plan just in case there's a delay. So, for example, if you're renting, talk to your landlord about possibly going month to month if you need to. If you're selling your house, see if the buyer will be willing to extend the closing or lease the house back to you if neither of those things are an option. Then check into corporate housing and put your stuff in storage. I know, it's a giant pain to do this, but closing delays, new construction happens so frequently that you really need to have a backup plan. If you absolutely can't have a delay in your move-in date, then look for an inventory home. It's going to be a lot easier to pinpoint a closing date on a house that's almost done. I hope this information helps anyone who is looking to buy a new construction home. And if you're looking to buy a new construction in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, please give me a call. I'd love to help you. Thank you for joining me on this video. If you found the tips on buying new construction home helpful, please hit the like button and I'll see you at the next video.